So here we are, Sunday afternoon, crap to cream. Another busy afternoon in the shed. So I'm rebuilding the second-hand engine now, which has had a rebore and regrind on the crank. I bought it off another gentleman, so he advised me to go through and just check everything. So I've taken the sump off and I've checked all the clearances. I have retorqued all the bolts. I filled the oil pump full of grease because I learned my lesson from the last time when I didn't, and I had to take the sump off in the car because it couldn't draw oil. So that's full of grease. I fitted my spin-on oil filter conversion, a couple of new fittings for oil pipes which I had lying around. I fitted the front plate. I put the bolts in to get better alignment between the engine and the plate, so I know all the bolts go in. I put a little bit of silicone behind here because just behind here typically leaks. Tightened these up and tightened those up, torqued all those up, so there, that's all tight and done now. Cylinder head is done. My other one was cracked, so I had to get a new one. So there's a new cylinder head, front timing cover, my little Bible with all my information, my torque settings and how to put things together just in case, taps and dies for tapping all the holes out in the studs, in the block, so that all the threads go in right. I've got my throwers, nuts, lock washers, turret shims for the rocker shaft when that arrives. I bought a second hand one. I've got my assembly fluid so that when I put everything together it gives it half a chance that it doesn't seize up on startup. I've replaced the oil pressure regulator, plunger and spring. That's done now. I've got my bolts kit from Wrights. So these are all the new bolts for a complete rebuild on an MG, but I'm only doing the engine. But this comes as a kit, and it's the most economical way to buy it is buy a kit. So this is the engine I'm putting the supercharger on. So I want to make sure it's all just right. Got a bit of stuff going on with the timing chain. So this is a late 18V engine, and it has the single chain, the single row chain on it. So I've got one pulley, I've got the chain, I've got a tension, I've got two tensioners actually. Now I've got a complete set of duplex chain, but I've read in various forums, right, that can either retard or advance the ignition or the timing. So I'm going to stick with what was original and just put the single. If anybody's got any comments about that, I don't know whether there'll be any advantages fitting the duplex with a supercharger or not, or how much effect it has on the engine itself, but I couldn't get a conclusive answer from the forums. Got a whole bunch of copper washers that don't seem to fit anything, so that was a complete utter waste of money. Apart from that, I think, I'm fixed, got new sand from a sandblaster, so that's all working fine now and cleaning up things beautifully for painting. I think that's about it. I've ordered the bits, yeah, some of the bits, some studs that I need. I've got a new set of uprated studs for the cylinder head. And when I put the cylinder head on, there's a decompression plate that goes in between two head gaskets, so I'll show that when I come to do that. I don't think there's anything else. This is the silicone I use, which I've mentioned in other videos before. So yeah, I'll just order the parts now, waiting for them to arrive. With that packet of bolts there, they also send you a random packet of bolts, which I put in here, and they seem to fit everything else, all UNF, so it saves going hunting around all sorts of local hardware shops trying to find something to. My bagged and tagged bits and pieces, so I know where they all go. There's the upgraded head bolts, so there's them. There they are. So I'll have to put all them in and put that on. So the world leader in fastener technology. There you go. So I can put all that back, I can put all those in. New seals, obviously. New seal for the timing cover, that's in the. And then when this has got this rebuilt, then I'll get my next MX5 gearbox and I'll put this on to this engine, and I'll put that in my other MG. And by then I should have tried and tested the other MX5 in my Milli MG, the one that I've been rebuilding for many years. I think that's about it. I'm also going to turn it over to this Toyota Long Life coolant, which I believe is good and doesn't seem to have had any effect on any bad effect on any of the engines that I've had it in. So I'll change this over to that. Yeah, thank you very much indeed for subscribers and comments. They're all gratefully received, and I try to respond where I can, and very constructive comments, and some regulars. Keep them in touch, and thank you very much indeed. Nice to hear from you. And yeah, I think we'll carry on and leave it at that for now. Have a nice week. Be in touch possibly next week.